Dark. Dark is the SCP Foundation's label for an anomaly so low-key that even if it escapes, nothing really gets wrecked. You know the Foundation loves fancy jargon, right? Well, dark might sound ominous, but it's actually the no-biggie zone of containment breaches. If an SCP is dark class, staff aren't even breaking a sweat. The scientists just keep sipping their Mountain Dew and daily life goes on. No drama at all, bro. Effects of a dark class breach spread minimally, meaning it might just mess with one person's afternoon. Maybe one researcher's laptop glitches out with a surprise rickroll and then everything's back to normal. Meanwhile, the rest of the Foundation has no clue anything happened. No alarms blaring, no hashtags trending. This isn't a climactic anime battle, it's more like a chill slice of life scene. If that SCP does wander off, it's neutralized easily. Containment is a piece of cake. No need for an Avengers Endgame or a Super Saiyan showdown. Just send one sleepy security guard with a Nerf gun to round up our wayward little friend. Wrangling a dark class anomaly is like catching a Magikarp with a Pokeball. No sweat, no special tricks needed. The intern could handle this cleanup while humming the Mario theme. It's that easy. So, to wrap up, Disruption Class Dark equals no stress, no mess. They call it dark, but dealing with it is pretty light work. Who knew I'd be rooting for the boring anomaly? I'm not complaining, though. I'd take a chill SCP over an absolute menace any day, buddy. Vlam. Vlam basically means an anomaly with effects that can spread to a few people, but it won't set the whole world on fire. You know the SCP Foundation loves its fancy code names. Fun fact, Vlam literally means flame in Dutch, like a little candle flame. Here's the deal. Vlam is the candle flame tier. Nobody notices like dark. If it breaks loose, it spreads to a few people fast. Friends, a classroom, a small neighborhood. And the big problem isn't bodies flying. It's normal life glitching in ways people can screenshot, replay, and timestamp. Think of a multiplayer match where one cheater doesn't crash the whole game server, but your entire lobby is cooked, and everyone's clip folder fills up with, "Bro, what was that?" Vlam means the Foundation's job is basically contain the anomaly, wipe the evidence, and keep the veil from catching a trend. Because once a handful of witnesses start comparing notes, it's like an anime fandom finding a hidden detail, going frame by frame, and spawning 10 theory threads before you finish blinking. The anomaly doesn't need to be powerful, just consistent enough that people can't explain it away. So how do they respond? Fast, local, surgical. Vlam incidents are the kind where a couple of TikToks spike for an hour, then get nuked, and everyone swears it was a prank filter. Meanwhile, the Foundation is in the background doing cleanup like a speedrunner resetting a run the moment one glitch goes public. Bottom line, Vlam is when an anomaly stays small, spreads to a few people, and leaves receipts the internet won't forget. The world keeps spinning. But your group chat? Absolutely cooked. Connect. Connect is the SCP Foundation's label for an anomaly that can spread wide enough to mess up a whole city, big enough that normal life starts buffering in public. Dark is the nothing to see here tier. Vlam is the small group gets hit tier. Connect is the step up where the weirdness stops fitting inside a classroom or a neighborhood and starts fitting inside a skyline. This is still not end of the world energy, but it is the city is cooked energy. A Connect breach doesn't have to be violent to be a problem, it just has to be shared. The same glitch shows up across different parts of town, close enough in time that nobody can shrug it off. Streetlights are syncing to the wrong color pattern, billboards flashing the same impossible symbol. Phone alerts are going off in waves like someone fat-fingered the emergency system. It's like a bad live service update that doesn't just break one player's game, it breaks the whole server at once, and suddenly every clip looks identical. And here's why that's scary for the Foundation. Connect creates too many witnesses and too much matching proof. With Vlam, you can memory hole a handful of posts. With Connect, the internet starts doing what it does best, collecting screenshots, mapping locations, comparing timestamps, and turning a weird night into a full documentary by breakfast. Not because people are geniuses, because boredom plus Wi-Fi is a superpower. So the response gets bigger because more of the city is affected. The Foundation sends in more people to turn things off, reset systems, and clean up clues before anyone notices a pattern. Cameras go quiet, screens change back, and signals fade away, all to make sure the city feels normal again before the strange event sticks around too long. Bottom line, Connect is when the weirdness goes citywide, fast, public, and hard to erase. The world keeps spinning. The city keeps side-eyeing every streetlight as it owes them money. Ekki is the SCP Foundation's label for an anomaly that can spread fast enough to disrupt an entire country or even the whole world. You know the Foundation loves its fancy labels, but Ekki is one of those words that basically translates to, "We're not deleting clips anymore." At this tier, the weirdness doesn't stay inside a room, a group, or a city. It starts showing up across regions like a bad trend you can't mute. And the worst part? It's not one viral moment. It becomes the new background. Ekki looks less like a monster and more like the world's routine getting bricked. Airports start stacking delays because navigation and radar don't agree on what up is today. Weather forecasts become decorative because the weather starts acting like it installed mods. Maps stop matching roads, not in one place, but in enough places that people stop trusting GPS and start trusting vibes. That's when society realizes it's not watching the glitch. It's living in it. Absolute menace. Salute. And yeah, the internet makes it worse, because of course it does. When millions of people experience the same impossible thing, you don't need leaks. You get mass receipts, live streams, satellite images, traffic cams, news helicopters. This isn't wipe a few posts. This is how do you hide the sky acting different. So the Foundation response stops being cleanup and turns into crisis triage. Stabilize what still works, cut off spread paths, and keep one wrong ripple from turning national disruption into global collapse. Think less speedrun reset and more keeping the server online while it's on fire. Bottom line, Ekki is when normal life doesn't bounce back and the cover-up can't keep up. The world keeps spinning. It just spins with a permanent glitch nobody asked for. Amida. Amida is the SCP Foundation's label for an anomaly so catastrophic that containment stops being a plan and starts being a coping mechanism. The Foundation loves tidy labels. Amida is the one who means the phone is at 2% and the charger is gone. At this tier, the weirdness doesn't spike and fade, it becomes the new condition. An Amida-level event doesn't need explosions to ruin life. It quietly bricks the boring stuff that keeps society running. Power stays out. The internet shows full bars, but nothing loads, so every important update turns into a loading spinner marathon. And it snowballs because systems depend on other systems. Bring one thing back and two other things fall over. Restore power in one region and communications drop because the network can't sync. It's a domino chain the size of a continent and you're trying to catch pieces mid-fall while everyone improvises blindly nonstop today. So the Foundation shifts into end-of-the-world logistics. They lock down archives, move key people, protect backups, and prioritize what knowledge survives, because that's the only thing left they can still control. Bottom line, Amida is when reality becomes a broken platform you can't log out of or uninstall. The world is still technically there, but it stops behaving like a place humans can run, and if the Foundation looks calm, that's not confidence, buddy, that's shock.